task, a manual task that every professional managing social media channels have to have on their daily checklist. Keeping an eye on comments, right? Whether we're talking about YouTube, X, Instagram, TikTok, name your channel here, right? We always have to, take a look at the comments and make sure that we get back to people who ask us questions or, make a compliment, right? And also we have to keep a close eye on negative comments as well. It happens a lot when you create content. Sometimes you get spammy, hateful comments, and it's important to act on them fast, right? Flag and things like that. So if you have this in your daily checklist, this is something that you're constantly doing. Let me show you how to automate this with AI. I'm going to give an example here related to YouTube because it's simply the channel that I'm mostly active in, but you can apply the exact same logic for any other social media channel that you use. Okay, so with a little help of AI and automation, you can send alerts to yourself and decide what to do with this alerts, right? You can, in my example here, I'm basically watching new YouTube video comments, and if I get a negative comment, I want to be notified on Slack, right? This is simply one example. This automation can go in different ways. It doesn't have to be YouTube in the first place, right? It doesn't have to be Slack as well. You can choose to send yourself an email. You can choose to add to a Google spreadsheet. I don't know. The important thing here is the automation starts when you get a new comment, question, right? Mention, something like that. And then you get AI to analyze the content of that comment mention. And then the third step is really up to you. In my case here is Slack, a Slack notification. But once again, you can apply the same logic to other scenarios. How did I do this? I did this inside make.com, which is a great AI automation tool that I've been playing around with recently. And I want to show you how I implemented it. Talita, what do you mean by Slack message? How is this going to look like? Let me just show you using a quick test here. So basically the way this is going to work is as soon as I get a new negative YouTube comment, in a real scenario here. Let me just show you an example. I'm going to test this quickly to show you the pop-up notification that we get. Let me just run this module only quickly. And let me just pretend that this is the comment that I got. I think this video is not useful. This is just an example, a fictional example here. So I'll basically get a notification just like this. New negative comment. I think this video is not useful. So I'm basically sending an automated alert to myself, on notifying me of a new negative comment on a YouTube video. Okay, let me show you how I set this up. And once again, feel free to apply the exact same logic here to any other social media channels and apps you might be using. So I went ahead and I created a make.com account. If you're not familiar with make.com, make.com is basically an automations tool. It's a tool that allows you to connect, different apps, right? And it's an integration service, and it also allows you to leverage AI to make your automations more efficient. There is a link in the description below where you can, head to make.com. Just find that link. You're gonna find a page to subscribe to make.com. Okay, so you'll find more information about the tool there. But either way, it's essentially an integration service. It allows you to connect multiple apps. And I'm inside my make.com account, and this integration that I'm going to show you doesn't require access to a paid make.com account, but it does require OpenAI credits. So if you've been playing around with Gen AI tools such as ChatGPT, Perplexity, and tools like that, you're familiar with the fact that sometimes you have to purchase tokens for things, right? Depending on exactly what you want to do. And for this example here, I actually went ahead and I bought a pack of OpenAI credits, and it was less than $10, something like that. There's more information about it also in the description of this video. Once I'm inside my make.com account, basically what I do is I click to create a new scenario. A scenario is basically an automation, right? A scenario is an automation, the exact same way that you create a workflow inside HubSpot, or ActiveCampaign or ConvertKit, whatever, right? Here inside make.com, you create a scenario. So the scenario that we will create basically has 3 different elements. The first element is the trigger, which is the thing that fires off our automation. The second element is the AI analysis, and the third element is the notification. So I'm going to build this together with you from scratch, and you are going to be able to, once you're done with this, turn it on and play around with other types of apps that you can connect following the same logic. So YouTube. There are different types of YouTube related triggers that I can add to my automation. The one that I'm looking for in this example here is actually watch new comments. It triggers, okay? So these are triggers. It triggers when a new comment related to a channel or a video occurs. And so I will click here and I'll add this as a trigger. As you could see in that list I was showing you just now, there are different types of triggers that I can use, right, from the YouTube app. And this was just one example. Okay, the trigger is basically anything that fires off your automation. As soon as that thing happens, then the automation starts. Okay, cool. The very first step here is to connect your YouTube account with make.com. You have to authorize make.com to keep an eye on your YouTube channel, right? And this is going to be valid regardless of the social media channel you're going for. Instagram, TikTok, right? Whatever. I'm just showing you this example with YouTube. So I went ahead and I did this connection. I connected YouTube with my make.com account. Now I actually have to choose, where am I watching comments? Am I watching comments on a specific video or on my channel as a whole? Look, my channel is actually quite small still, so let me just add for the whole channel. Of course, if you're looking at a specific video that is doing super well, but sometimes you get negative comments here and there, feel free to do it for a video as well. Now I have to add the channel ID. Every YouTube channel has a channel ID. The channel ID is basically the ID of your YouTube channel. It's that number that you have after youtube.com, right? Okay, moderation status. What kind of comments am I looking at? Comments that are empty, comments that were published, comments that are held for review, comments that are likely spam. In this case, I'm just gonna do published, okay? It's basically what type of YouTube comment I have, right? What is the status of that comment specifically? I'm just gonna do published. So essentially, you know, a person comes and they publish a comment on my channel. I'm looking at all the published comments in this case here. Cool. What's important here? Limit. How many comments am I watching for, right? On a specific running cycle. An execution cycle. An execution cycle is how often your automation is gonna run. Once I turn this on, I have the option to run this automatically every 15 minutes. I can change this. I can do every 5 minutes, every 10, every 1 hour. I don't know, right? So basically what we're doing here is we're watching for comments, and how many comments is my automation going to be fetching in every running cycle? I don't have a specific advice here because it really depends on how many comments and mentions you have in general. For me, 2 is more than enough. Hopefully this changes in the future, but either way, I'll leave 2 here. So this is my trigger, okay? Where do I want to start this? From now on, since a specific date, right? I can choose this. Let me just do from now on. So all new comments from now on will be watched and fetched by my automation here. But the thing is, I want AI to analyze these comments. I want AI to make a judgment on these comments and only tell me about the negative ones. So let me just add an OpenAI action for analyzing the sentiment of my comment, right? I could do this with other types of actions. It doesn't even have to be OpenAI in the first place. But the logic here is there is an AI element in the middle where I'm getting it to analyze the sentiment of a comment, right? Why am I doing this? I could easily go ahead. I could simply have an automation running that is every new YouTube comment, send me a Slack notification. So 2 steps only, right? But then I would get all my Slack, all my YouTube comments as notifications, which is fine, but I only want to see the negative ones. And so that's why AI comes into play, right? AI is going to help me analyze the sentiment of those comments. The reason why we're using AI here is because we don't want to be notified of everything. We just want to be notified of the negative stuff. Now we need someone judging what is negative and what is positive, right? This is where AI plays a role here. So I went ahead and I created this with an OpenAI model response action, which is basically, hey, OpenAI, I'm gonna give you a prompt, give me a response. This is what this means in easy terms, okay? There are different types of actions that you can go for. These are all automated actions available for OpenAI inside make.com. Okay. So create a model response. The prompt that I used here is for the model 4 mini, 04 mini, okay? Adding for you some reading on different models that you can go for. I just went for something a bit more cost effective. And the text prompt that I went for is this following prompt here. You're going to do social media monitoring for me. Please analyze the sentiment of comment. Right? What is this text original here? This is an element that I'm pulling from my trigger. My trigger is watch new YouTube comments, right? Every time the automation tool watches a new comment, it gets many different elements from this comment, such as the ID of the comment, the ID of the video where this comment was published, the text of the comment, the author of the channel, right? The like count. There are many different types of elements that we pull when we look at YouTube comments, okay? And for this specific example, what I want AI to do is to look at the text of the comment, right? Text original. This is what I'm looking for. I'm looking at the actual content that is inside the comment, okay? When we run this will be easier to understand. Just for clarification, this is a YouTube video comment. Each comment is either positive, negative, or neutral. For example, if, text original, meaning if YouTube comment is great, thanks for the video, this is a positive comment. If content is something like not very useful, this is a negative comment, right? I'm just giving examples here for OpenAI to know what to do. Please describe why you classify the comment that way in 2 lines max. I could have changed this. It's probably not even properly worded here, but basically I'm saying, hey, decide whether this is positive, negative, or neutral, and then add an explanation. I just want to know why you chose that, right? If it's negative, why is this negative? Did you choose negative because the person is saying, I hate this video or something like that? So this is my prompt to OpenAI in this case here. Now, maximum output tokens. Do I want to cap my response there? In this case, I'm not going to add anything. It's going to be a super short response either way. It's simply a word and then an explanation. But I could cap this here. Save. The third action in my automation is the final one, which is send myself a Slack notification. So let me just get make.com to create a message inside a channel. Once again, I have to make sure that my Slack channel, in this case, my Slack workspace, is connected with make.com, right? And this is also valid for any other actions here that I have in my automation, right? I'm connecting YouTube, great. YouTube has to be connected with make.com. OpenAI, same thing. Slack, same thing, right? There is no way I can automate all this stuff if I'm not authorizing make.com to actually engage with all these different apps, right? And so I have to do this in the first place. But once I do this, all I have to do is select the channel that I want to go for here. Actually, let me select this from my list. The channel that I want to go for is a public channel that I have inside my Slack workspace called YouTube Comments. This one here. So the channel is this one here, YouTube Comments. Okay, and that's pretty much it. What else do I want to set up here? Well, the notification itself, right? What do I want to have in the actual notification? Let's just do new negative comment. And let's just add the text of the comment. And so let me pull this from the YouTube trigger, right? Every time I'm adding a new action inside an automation, I can pull things from different steps. I can pull things from the YouTube step. I can pull things from the OpenAI step. Okay, so let me just go ahead and let me pull the actual text of the comment. So text display, that's pretty much it. And that's it. This is my automation here. Let me see if you notice this. Notice that here, I added a prompt. I added the text of my alert and I said new negative comment. How do I know it's negative, right? Look, all new YouTube comments will be analyzed by AI, right? I will decide whether they're positive, neutral, negative, and then I'm sending myself a Slack notification, but I only want to see the negative ones. I forgot to add the filter, really important aspect to make sure that this works. The filter in this case is the response, right? The result of whatever OpenAI decides has to contain the word negative. Otherwise, I would be sending myself alerts for all my YouTube comments, not only the negative ones. So negative. Let me just explain this better. I'm pulling the result, okay, from whatever comes here. So this result step will be defined by what I have here in this OpenAI step, right? Whatever comes from this prompt, like OpenAI will say, okay, this is a positive comment and I think it's positive because the person said amazing video. This is the response of my prompt, okay? And so what I'm basically deciding here is that the response of my prompt, right? The result of that prompt, which is the result element in this case here, contains the word negative. And then I save this. So I'm adding a filter to my automation because I only want to be notified of the negative comments. I don't want to be notified of the positive comments or the neutral comments, only the negative ones. And so that's why I add a filter here. But Talita, I want to be notified of all the comments. Then don't have a filter, right? I am just doing this because in my example, I want to be notified of negative comments. So you can always apply filters based on things that you're obtaining from the previous steps. I could apply a filter based on something that came from the YouTube step as well. But in this case, I'm applying a filter based on an element that I'm obtaining, that I'm getting back from the OpenAI element. Okay, so OpenAI will get my prompt, will analyze my YouTube comment, will give me a result, right? The result of my prompt, and then the Slack notification is sent. Okay, the easiest way of testing this is the following. Right button of my mouse, run this module only. I'm testing this. Suppose that the text, the original text of my YouTube comment said something like, I think this video is really bad. Okay, this is my comment. Okay, let's see what the OpenAI module does. It's analyzing my comment. I think this video is really bad. Good. Here in the result of my test, I can see that the result of my prompt came out as negative. Why? Really bad conveys, let me just zoom in for you to see this better. Really bad conveys a strong unfavorable opinion of the video, and the intensifier really amplifies negativity. So as I requested, OpenAI is justifying why this is a negative comment. So it's working, basically. This is how I test out an automation before I turn it on. It's actually working, okay? Let's see this in real time. I'm gonna add a negative comment to myself in my own YouTube channel, and we'll run this automation. Okay, I went to my own YouTube channel. I added a video as unlisted, okay, just so that other people don't see it. And I send myself a really bad negative comment, okay, from myself. I don't like this video at all. I think it's really bad. It's not useful, okay? Yeah, see how far I go for you. I'm adding negative comments to my own videos. But this is the comment, okay? So let's see if my automation picks up this comment, classifies this comment as negative, and sends a Slack notification as expected, okay? Comment is here, okay? Let's run this automation together, and then later, if this is working, we can actually turn it on. Good, let me run this. New negative comment. I don't like this video at all. I think it's really bad and not useful. We see these weird characters here because of how the tool is reading the, what's the name of this in English? God, what's the name of this? When you have don't, do not, let me Google this. Apostrophe. That's the word I was looking for. I'm sorry about that. English is my second language. So sometimes you get a funny result if the comment comes with an apostrophe or other symbols that you might have, right? But either way, it worked out, right? I did get a notification because, as expected, OpenAI identified that that was a negative comment, and it notified my Slack my Slack channel, right? I can actually even go to my Slack channel and I can take a look at this as well. Let's see. New negative comment. I think this video is not useful. The other ones is just me testing, right? It's not that I've been getting a lot of negative comments lately, just so that you know, okay? This is essentially it. This is how you can, send alerts for social media mentions, social media comments, and things like that. Once again, the exact same logic applies regardless of the apps that you're connecting, right? The social media channels that you're using.